sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
Greetings.
For each
Good morning. I am Barbara Martin, a member of First Church Boston, and I am delighted to welcome you to what is going to be a very special service in which our minister and our delegates will share with us the experience of the UUA General Assembly that just took place in Baltimore, and I feel like we're already there. That was a wonderful opening. There are a few announcements in your order of service. But before I go there, I want to particularly welcome any visitors who are with us this morning. If you are interested in learning more about First Church Boston or about Unitarian Universalism, and you'll learn some certainly during this service, more than often is the case. But if you would like to learn more, you can go to firstchurchboston.org, to our website, or speak to our minister, Reverend Dr. Stephanie May, or to me, or to Nancy Olson, the chair of the Standing Committee, or really any member of the congregation during the social hour on the porch afterward, and I hope you will stay for that. So, moving now to the announcements. There are several. I definitely encourage you to explore the art show that was installed recently and celebrated on Friday night. It's good that we come up to the chapel for the summer services, so everyone will be sure to experience the pieces on the second floor and in the narthex, but I encourage you to go into the auditorium as well and around the corner onto the Berkeley Street porch, because they're very interesting, and it was really exciting to be here Friday night with the artists and to see how excited they were to have their work on view, and that will be up through the summer. I'm not sure, we say we welcome you during viewing hours, and that's easy for those of us who come on Sunday morning, and I don't know if there are any other hours that have been... Wednesday 5 to 8. So tell your friends if they want to drop by in the evening on a Wednesday. Also, our new church administrator, Julissa Navarro-Norton, starts on Monday. And she has already been here and met the staff, and as well as the hiring team. And I would just particularly like to take a moment to thank the hiring team of Miriam Coe, Beth Curran, Janine Mudge Mullen, Mary Ellen Norman, and Reverend May, on behalf of all of us, for the careful process of posting the job, reviewing candidates, interviewing finalists, and choosing someone who sounds really wonderful. Also, there's a notice in the order of service about summer pop-up events. If you're going to be doing something fun that takes advantage of Boston in the summer and would like to invite First Church members to join you, the process is very clearly outlined there for contacting the office to get it in the e-news, and then what your responsibilities would be as the contact person. I think that wraps it up. And so with that, let our worship begin.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Dr. Stephanie May. My pronouns are she and her, and in the spirit of General Assembly, they also always included an introduction, a visual introduction, to be accessible to those who are visually impaired. So I am a middle-aged woman with brown hair and a blue sleeveless dress and a green stole today. And as Barbara said, today's a little different. If you're not familiar with what is General Assembly, so the polity professor hat goes on. So our governance as a Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations is that each congregation sends delegates to an annual business meeting. The business meeting also is full of worship and workshops and all kinds of ways to deepen your faith and connect with other Unitarian Universalists from across the continent. And so today we thought we would just sort of share a bit of General Assembly with you. As you've noticed, we excused our live musicians for the day so that we could show you video clips of different bits of the music at General Assembly. There's a massive choir and a lot of special musicians, so just thought it'd be sort of fun to show you. You already saw the opening service was online only. That was a video clip from that. Otherwise, the entire event was multi-platform. So there were folks in person, there were folks online, and a number of the events, some were one or the other, but mostly a lot of things were both, just like we're trying to be today and every week with a multi-platform service. So let us enter into this spirit that we are a local congregation with deep roots. And for 200 years, the American Unitarian Association has existed. First Church's relationship, as some of you know, through the 19th century was a little bit of an on-again, off-again kind of relationship, but we basically have identified as a Unitarian congregation for 200 years. And so this is our day to be both a local congregation, but also to acknowledge our connections to the larger Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. So let us begin by rising in body or in spirit as we light our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and recite together our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. If you can please take a moment to greet one another, and if you don't have the music, raise your hand. We'll make sure you get one. Okay. So, one of the things that I love about General Assembly is the music. And one of the really exciting things this year is there has been in progress the development of a new hymnal. So on your seats, there's the gray hymnal that's been around for a while. Our own Leo Collins, former music director, had been involved in the development of that. And then there was the teal hymnal that came out, I think, 20 years ago now. And so it was time for a new one. Except that in our digital age, it is a virtual hymnal. And so what you have in your hand are two examples of hymns that are in the new hymns in the new virtual hymnal. And one you'll see is music, which we can download and add as we need to use it. And one is simply lyrics, which we can use also. So our first song is This Boat, and there was a session introducing sort of a hymn sing-along with a lot of the new hymns, and the way that was introduced is, in a way, it builds on the beloved Blue Boat Home song. So it's another boat song. And so I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and it's a pretty simple song, so sing along using the lyrics that you have either on your paper or on the screen.
This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. We all know hardship. We all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained. And every rainbow means a rain. You're not alone, try again. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Even if you've been tempest-tossed, even if you feel that all is lost, you've heard the thunder roar. You look at heaven's door. If you're sinking like a stone, this boat will carry you home. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, grab a board. When you're ready, grab an one more time. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore.
Please be seated. You like it? So, the theme of the General Assembly this year was Meet the Moment. And so there was a lot of reflection about where we are today. And there was also the remembering of that 200th anniversary, especially in the final Sunday worship, which you can watch that entire service online on YouTube. You didn't have to be registered to watch that whole service. And this Time for All Ages is the story that was told in that service. And you'll hear how it speaks both some to the past, but a lot to reflecting on this moment. And thank you for your patience with my double duty as tech today.
Once upon a time. That's my favorite part. Can I do it again? And you can do it with me. It's so much fun. That's why it's my favorite part. All you have to do is put your hands up like this. Ready? Once upon a time. You're very good at that. There was a young person named Robin who spent every morning reading or watching the news. They liked to stay informed. Lately, though, staying informed was getting more and more difficult. See, every day there were news stories about despair and destruction. To help deal with the stressful news, Robin would play their flute and it would clear their mind. It usually worked. One day, though, no matter how much Robin played, it didn't help. Instead of the music chasing out the bad thoughts, the stressful news was chasing away the music notes as Robin played them. Then, Robin remembered what their grandmother always said: the harmony of nature has the greatest power. So they went for a walk. And as they walked, they connected with the world around them, remembering they are just one small part of a larger web of existence. They watched the bluebirds fly across the sky, and the ladybugs walk along the blades of grass, and the water flow through the creek over the rocks and pebbles. Can you make the sound of flowing water or of birds in the sky? Let's hear. Very good. With a few deep breaths of appreciation, Robin began to feel better. They walked so far, they made it to the center of the bustling town. As Robin walked through town, they saw so many different people. Aisha, a local shop clerk, was wearing a hijab and putting out fruits and vegetables in front of her store. The colors of the fruits and vegetables matched the colors of her hijab, making a beautiful portrait anyone would admire. Oh, they also saw their friends, Eric and Gil, being pulled by the hand by their young, rambunctious children, yearning to get to the toy store just a few doors down. So they didn't have time to chat. Oh, and Robin saw their friend Lynn across the street and waved. Lynn rolled over in her chair and gave Robin a big hug as they caught up. Can you give yourself a squeeze like you're getting a hug from a dear friend? Robin thought about how all these different people on this one street each had their own experiences and cultures. Robin felt blessed to be surrounded by such beautiful diversity. As Robin walked, they heard music playing, so they followed the sound of beginner musicians trying to find the right notes all the way to the local community center. They walked in and saw a group of children in a music lesson learning how to play all these new exciting instruments. Robin smiled as they watched the children rejoice over all the different sounds they could make. Can you silently pretend to play an instrument? You can strum the guitar or rock the saxophone or even play the flute like Robin. Yeah, I see y'all rocking out there. Oh, Robin noticed a bulletin board at the community center that was covered with flyers advertising opportunities to volunteer. There's not much I can do about the news of the world, but look at all the things I could do right here. So Robin looked over the bulletin board and saw the community center was looking for a volunteer music teacher. Perfect. Robin signed up and felt the warm tingles in their body that meant they were doing something right. They felt the joy of connecting with their community, giving what they could, where they could. Robin left the community center and turned to see, a crowd of people of all ages holding up signs and chanting in front of City Hall. Robin learned that there was a big corporation that wanted to come and build a factory in their town. Now, the company promised to bring lots of jobs to the town, but the company also had a history of polluting the waters near their factories. So the crowd of activists were demanding that the town protect the local lake and the wildlife that depended on it. Robin felt inspired. They chanted along with the crowd, signed petitions, and signed the mailing list to learn what to do next. Let's chant along with Robin and the activists. Repeat after me. Ho, ho. Ho, ho. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. We want clean water every day. We want clean water every day. Very good. By the time Robin got home at the end of the day, they were exhausted. But they also noticed something else, too. They noticed they felt lighter than before. They felt the weight of the world off their shoulders. Instead of dwelling alone on the news of the morning, they opened themselves up to the possibility of what the day could bring. They reconnected with their community in nature and with people. They reflected on the world in a new way as they walked through town, allowing themselves to be changed by what they heard and saw and felt. Robin was grateful that they took their grandmother's advice to go outside. They felt connected to their past, grounded in their present, and hopeful for the future. We tell this story as Unitarian Universalists because we are aware of the world we live in. We are terribly aware of the pain in the world. And we know the world is more than pain. When we hold our values close to our heart, when we let love be the guiding force in our lives, we can navigate and find our way through this world. We, like Robin, can be transformed through living our values. May we each feel connected to our Unitarian Universalist faith, not just on Sundays, but every day. Thank you.
I invite you into a time of prayer and meditation by taking one of those deep breaths in and out. and another in and out. Spirit of life and love, we gather in a stream of faithful people who have set aside time to gather together as the First Church in Boston for nearly 400 years. We are grateful for our ancestors who taught us the gift of religious community, of being with others, of pausing to remember what is ultimate and what grounds us even in the hard and tumultuous times. We are grateful that we are not alone on this journey here as a congregation, but that we are part of a larger community of Unitarian Universalist congregations and liberal religious people. We pray that we remain connected and nurture those bonds so that we together might have our values be heard strongly in the world that are, while they are so often under threat these days. As the drum rolls of war continue to sound so loudly in Gaza and Israel and Iran and Ukraine and Russia, we pray for all those who fear the falling of bombs and the presence of violence. We pray that voices of peace that preserves life, that allows life to flourish, might become stronger, might overcome those destructive urges to violence. We pray also for those who are suffering in smaller ways in their own personal lives, with despair, with loss, with illness, with loneliness. We pray that all those that are suffering might find support. As we move now into a time of musical meditation, may we reflect on what it means to choose love as the center of our faith, not just on Sundays, but on every day.
In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, sorrow falling down like rain, I await the sun again. I choose love.
I choose love. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, hate and anger keeping score, I will seek the good once more. I choose peace. I choose peace.
together as a community with the microphone, see, AV, to share joys and concerns that are in our hearts. If you have something that you would like to share with us, come forward, introduce yourself, and I will give you the microphone, and take a pebble after you've spoken and drop it into the vessel of water. So, is there anyone who has something this morning that they would like to share with us? David?
I would like to share the joy that I've had with my wife, Anna, who first brought me here in the previous millennia to hear Reese Williams, and the joy of our life and the concern that due to her physical condition with Parkinson's and a heart attack, we have been apart for 1 year. We have been apart physically, but not spiritually. I will be going to see her later today. We have been together about half a century, and it's been a pretty good half century. I don't know how much longer we have, but it's been very good so far. So please offer any prayers or thanks or whatever you wish to her. Thank you.
Rosemary.
Thank you. And I want to thank David for being here for 50 years, and knowing him and Anna during that time has been wonderful, I know, for many of us. And I'm happy to be here to hear about GA since I wasn't able to participate this year. And I'm very concerned. My concern is about, as you all probably are aware of, the budget that's before Congress right now, and will be disastrous for our country, and already is for the world to some degree. So I hope we can all keep that in our minds this week and figure out what we can do about it if it does pass.
Thank you. I'll drop a pebble to echo that for you. I think that's something that's in all of our hearts this week and today. Anyone else? Is there anyone who has something they would like to share? If not, yes, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to be here. That's my first time. My name is Martine.
Hold the microphone a little closer. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like my voice. So glad to be here. My name is Martine, but I passed all over one before someone very generous showed me the place. I didn't get to ask his name, but thank you so much. And very happy to be here. Thank you.
We are happy to welcome you. Right. If there are no other thoughts at this moment, I will drop one more pebble for the joys and concerns and sorrows that we hold in our hearts unspoken. And at this point, we're moving to the offertory in some new form.
I actually had fun going through all these. This offertory is by a group called Beheld, and they are local to the DC, Baltimore area, and they say, the UU ministers always gather, as do other religious professional groups, and the couple days is a pre-conference before General Assembly. And so I was fortunate to hear this song twice, once with the ministers and once with the, as you'll see it in the General Assembly. And it just simply says, thank you. And I think that so often, I was talking to some people yesterday about how much of what it means to be a community, a religious community, relies on volunteers. And so a big thank you for everybody who contributes by their presence in worship, by volunteering in so many different ways, and by your financial gifts to sustain our AV. Craig is up upstairs too, and all of our AC, which is working today. And so thank you for your financial gifts, and enjoy this song.
Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your blessings. Your guidance is wise indeed. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your blessings. Your lessons live on in me. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you. 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 Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your blessings. Your guidance is wise indeed. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your blessings. Your lessons live on in me. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you. 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 Thank you.
Doxology. From all that dwell beneath the skies, let faith and hope and love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land, by every tongue. You may be seated, and I'll invite my co-delegates to come over here. And so move your chair, and we'll make a little half circle up here. And I asked each congregation brings delegates, as I said, and the number of delegates is determined by the size of the congregation. So our congregation is entitled to 3 delegates, plus the minister is a full-time minister. I get a delegate credential just because. And I also want to, I don't know, Mary Catherine Morin, you were also at GA, so please feel free to pop in at any point that you wish to. What I asked is that each of us would just share 2 minutes, and I said 2 minutes because when you do the business meeting and you want to speak pro or con to an issue, you have a timer of 2 minutes. And I don't have my phone on to time you precisely, but I trust you that we're going to each try that experience of 2 minutes of your initial thoughts about what you're bringing back from GA.
Yeah, so I'm Beth. I was a delegate, and Joanne whispered to me, and I concur. If you get a chance on YouTube, watch the closing ceremony. It really is quite moving, I thought. You don't have to be, you can just go to YouTube and you don't have to pay or anything like that. It's all lots of UUA stuff. And that kind of pivots into what I was thinking about it was really lovely being around so many different folks and seeing all different types of people from all different ages, all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, identities, understandings of themselves as UUs and their communities. And I think one thing that I took away is we have a huge resource at the UUA, even if just from a point of view of, I'm interested in X and I want to find out more about X. And yes, First Church is unique and we have our own sort of set of historical understandings of ourselves, and we're 200 years older than UUA, but UUA.org is just a repository of amazing resources for climate justice, for everything you could think of. And that really excited me as an opportunity for how our volunteers can get support just from like resources and references. And then one thing I love about this community is that no matter how much knowledge we have, we're all curious. So I think that was what was really exciting, learning all these things and realizing, it's just a click away, a lot of this stuff.
So I had to write things down. It was a little overwhelming to sort of try to summarize GA in 2 minutes. But anyhow, here are my impressions. GA is a business meeting, the general sessions, but it is a business meeting like no other I've ever attended. How many business meetings start off with a chalice lighting and a welcome? Like this, we invite this assembly into deep reflection about what it means to put love at the center at this particular time. It is a conference, but like a conference, I've never attended a conference like that. How many conferences have care teams? And the care teams are the systemic justice team, the chaplaincy team, the conflict and covenant team, and the accessibility and inclusion team. And they provide reports to the general session each day, and they hold us accountable to our stated values, and they name it when we have fallen short to keep us accountable. So GA is a meetup on steroids. It's like renewing old acquaintances on the first day of summer camp. It is a religious revival meeting. It is music and pride colors and energy, commiseration and commitment, individuality and community, come as you are. It is joyful, inspiring, motivating, renewing and healing, and at times overwhelming and exhausting. It is a repository of UU history and of memory. It is a resource and a support for individuals and congregations. And more later, it is an introduction to the Meet the Moment framework, which is designed to help Unitarian Universalism hold the balance between, and this is I quote, nimble response in the moment and long-term strategy that builds towards where we need to go to have a future. Stay tuned.
I'm David Reno. This was my 25th General Assembly. I went to first one in Nashville, thanks to the late Dr. and Mrs. Jackson, and I was absolutely floored to realize how many other GAs there were in the United States. I thought it was just us in Boston. Well, GA is not only learning, but it's also unlearning a lot of things that you thought you knew, which later turned out not to be true. I'd like to say that I'm very glad that I have two other members here. I usually was the only one that went to General Assembly, and I began to feel like I was a Lone Ranger minus Tonto. Nonetheless, with three great minds working, we had a very good time. I went to the business meeting. They had three questions. One was fat acceptance, in which I spoke in favor of the motion. for people who are, as I was, fat, still pretty much that way. But also, and we voted on 3 different things. One was fat acceptance, but they decided to vote on abolition of prisons. And specifically, that should be what we would study this coming year. Now, I'd also had a wonderful time meeting other GAs in the United States. I met one person who had a congregation in Tupelo, Mississippi, the birthplace of Elvis. They had 8 members in the group. They sometimes felt like smaller congregations were being ignored. That may well be the case, but we should think about that. I'm also a member of the Unitarian community ministers who don't have a whole church. I consider my job in law as to being ministry to people who need help through the law. And also, you begin to realize how things change. This time, the General Assembly had no cash. Everything had to be on a credit card. And voting was not by ballot, but by computers, which assumes everybody has a computer. One other thing I would say is they have a group, it used to be said, standing on the side of love, until it was decided that that would assume that everyone can stand, which is not necessarily the case. I see my 2 minutes are up, but please feel free to talk to me later. Thank you.
Yeah, David did a fabulous job representing First Church, speaking out to the assembly. Yeah, I had colleagues sitting behind me nodding along and thinking, that's a good point. So, and for me, specific to this year, the 2 things that I walked away with, I went to a session about membership. This is like on that conference side of workshops, and got a great idea for connection cards that everyone fills out every week with a question. And it also creates an opportunity for check-in. So I'm going to poke around and check out that a little bit more as a way to connect both our existing members, but also if you're a first-time person, it gives you a chance and a place to put down your information if you want to be connected to the church. And in fact, they would send a gift to every new person, which was a $5 coffee card to join in a weekly gathering of a coffee meetup that happened every week, which I just thought that was brilliant. So I'm like, I'll have coffee with people every week. That sounds like a great idea. And that's for anybody, but all existing members, but also if you're new and want to check out and meet some other people. So that was a practical thing that I took away with. And then I went to a workshop on innovative worship. And the biggest thing I took away from that, which you're seeing today, I think, or experiencing today, is the role of emotion and somatic body experience with music. And if you notice one of the songs, the Love, had the dancer who was just astounding. And I believe our postlude today will be another song. I can't remember if they show him in the video, but he was dancing to that song. And there was a little kid who had kind of like what we used on a couple weeks ago, the streamers on the stick. And the little kid was doing that, so the 2 of them were dancing together for a while up front, which is just gorgeous. So that sense of embodied worship.
The other quick thing that was very nice was that our upcoming intern was there, and we were able to have a nice, lovely, all of us meet up and have a nice breakfast beforehand. So it was really lovely to meet Ebene and interact with her too. So I'm looking forward to a lot of new and exciting things, I think, for this upcoming church year.
And on that point, I will again call out Mary Catherine Moore, who is one of the things I went to for the first time was the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee event, and Joanne was there too. And one of the things that was so cool that you guys are doing was I'm going to forget the name of this, the group that pursues justice and equity in the face of climate change through music. And there's a special fundraising opportunity to help replace a bunch of musical instruments. This is a South Pacific nation. Kiribati. yeah, who's lost their instruments. And this is how they both build community and renew their spirits and preserve their culture. And so I would like to bring that back and share some information about that with the congregation also. And Meet the Moment. I love that time for all ages because I think it presented so much of how what I hear a lot of people say about being sort of overwhelmed by all that's going on. And so I'm curious. I know that Joanne, you guys, and Beth, you particularly were watching a lot of the Meet the Moment programming in the mornings. Do you have any thoughts on that framework?
Well, I was very excited by it, but I think I hesitated to say too much because this is all going to be available to us. There's a sort of a general overview. Some of the things are not going to be related right now to our church, but it's overall it's social justice, it's finances, it's membership, it's a framework that the UUA has developed, and they use it within the UUA, and also it's available to the congregation. So I think I went to the general framework, and I think Beth and Stephanie went to some individual ones.
I was very excited about it because it is exactly that. It's a framework. It's a sort of a communication organization kind of framework, which we could apply to anything. So we could use a Meet the Moment kind of framework, how we want to plan for our 400th anniversary, for example. It can be so it's very flexible, but I really enjoyed the way that it helped tap into both like your intellectual sort of solving capabilities, but also your sort of more holistic, where am I right now and what will really help us all and help us talk across both of those things. I went to the whole church religious ed, which is an area that I'm interested in, which is more adult religious ed rather than children, and this is the whole church and faith formation. And again, I popped into a couple of others to see how that framework worked depending on all the different topics. So that's what excites me, is that it's sort of like a new toolkit that I think that we could use too, or any congregation could use regardless of its size or specificity.
Yeah, and so like the idea of like in this moment, what does religious education look like? Maybe it doesn't look like what it did for you as a child or when you had children or had friends with children. What does it look like today and possibly tomorrow? And David, you alluded to part of what the delegates do is vote on a congregational study issue every couple years. And the one that was elected is on abolitionism. And so we'll be rolling out some information about that also. And these are issues that maybe Unitarian Universalists don't all think alike about. These are not the things that are already settled, but things that are intended to study.
I would like to say that we have a group and we can study a particular thing. This was Abolition of Prisons. One of possibly the greatest book ever written on America was Alec de Tocqueville's Democracy in America, in which a French aristocrat came to need to see this new thing called the United States of America. He came originally to study this new phenomena called a penitentiary. That was 1836. It's probably time that we rethink that idea and consider, well, what are the alternatives? What do they do in other countries as well? And once we get started, I have a few readings and comments on that, which I won't bore you with at the meeting. But I think what's great about General Assembly is you get your batteries recharged, and then we shall take that spirit and distribute it evenly and equitably to the congregation. I was honored to be the 25th person. I just think that it gives some kind of some kind of a stole after 25 years or something.
I'd just say a little more about that. What was interesting, because there was in-depth conversation about all three topics. And the thing about abolition of prisons is like, okay, let's say we do that. And then the study group is going to be thinking about what does that all then mean? So you're not just getting into housing, for folks who are in how did they get there, and how do we address issues that got them there? How do we address the just the whole pipeline situation, both folks where things are criminalized, like an 11-year-old can get into the system for fighting or something, and then they have a record, and then, all those sorts of things. And then at the other end, how do they get housing? How do they get jobs? So it's a real expansive, but starting with a really kind of provocative sort of abolition of prisons. Okay, what does that really mean? And how do we really,
And then I'll add to the other things that were voted on are actions of immediate witness, which were statements from the UUA, and I had it, but it's on my over there. And what I would say, somebody forwarded me a statement from a friend of theirs had sent out a statement from their bishop. And said, we should do stuff like this as Unitarian Universalists. And I'm like, we do. And perhaps I should put more of it in the e-news. But even during General Assembly, when the Supreme Court ruled to uphold the Tennessee law banishing gender-affirming care for teenagers, for adolescents and kids, the UUA immediately put out a statement and also added a special session with the attorney for the UUA and a lawyer activist who's a Unitarian Universalist, discussing the ramifications of that decision. And so if you want to know more about statements that the UUA is putting out, they also made a statement after the bombs fell on Iran, is follow, if you're a social media person, follow the Unitarian Universalist Association on social media. If you're not a social media person and you're like, has the UUA said anything yet? You can always go to the website. There's usually UUA.org. There's usually something there. And like I said, I've heard that feedback, and I'll be keeping my ear out for places where it's appropriate to add some of that information in our own e-news to keep people aware of what's going on. And it was 5 days, so we could stay here for a long time, but it's already noon, and I still have more music I wanted to share. So if you can bear with me, we'll go a little late, which was also typical of many of the sessions at General Assembly. And if you need to leave, please step out. But let's go ahead and sing our second song, which is in your packet, and let me get that queued up.
I will just also say that the meeting about the Screddy, I think it was called Screddy case, which was the trans operations Supreme Court case, it was primarily a Q&A, and I was really struck by, first, great lawyers at the UUA are there, who were there, and very precise about what the impacts of the rulings were. But just across, it was really well attended. There were a lot of people there, even though it was literally a couple of hours after it was announced that they pulled this together. And so many really insightful and interesting questions. But the level of impact that it's had across the nation, and the level of concern and harm, not just specific to the trans community, but just generally speaking about our bodily autonomy and decisions, parents' rights and decisions and children's autonomy. So I think there might be some stuff on the website about that as well. So that was me vamping.
I'll take the moment to make an announcement that I forgot to make, which is just which is just to say that next week, the July 4th weekend, we're going to be experimenting with our first porch gathering. For anyone who wants to get together on Sunday morning, we won't be here. We'll be downstairs on the front porch for a conversation that I might have a few things to get it started, or we might just start with what people had on their minds. So.
That was written by the music director in Malden. And let us extinguish the chalice together We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our benediction is going to be the last few lines of the Sunday sermon, which was given by the Reverend Dr. Nicole Kirk, who is a professor at Meadville Lombard Theological School in Chicago, and also a part-time minister at All Souls in Tulsa, and one of my very best friends. So I'm partial, but it was extraordinary. If you have a chance, as you heard, it is on YouTube. You can watch it. So it goes from the closing of the sermon into the song All Around, which will be our postlude. So sit and enjoy as you wish. Dance is, actually stay up as you wish, because you'll want to dance, trust me.
Large our freedom is. In this moment, friends, don't be afraid. Don't stop organizing. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop loving. Friends, this faith matters. Your congregations, your communities matter. Your dreams matter. And the things we choose to do and say in the months and years ahead matter. Our ancestors, the spirit of life and freedom, and most of all, I think you know the word, love. Let's just say that together. Love is holding us, is carrying us, is inspiring us, is putting our hope in us. Love is all around, my friends. Let's not forget it. Can you feel it? Love is all around.